Hey guys, this is Ruchika again. This is my sixth video tutorial on data stage, which is like one of the ETL tools. So yeah, if you have been following my previous videos, you by now you should have known about the server jobs and a few stages like the file and like general steps and a few stages. So as I said in my previous video, I'd be now focusing on the processing stages in server jobs. So let's get on to the aggregator. Aggregator is like basically it's like group by function. I said you guys need to have at least like a few SQL functions knowledge, right? So if you have that knowledge, you'll understand what group by function does there. So yeah, because we can't write anything, so just like pulling group by function, you're just making use of that function using this pretty graphical graphical design stage. So that's it, but I'll deal with it in detail in my next video, probably, yeah, I mean when I'll be dealing with aggregator stage in parallel jobs. Okay, and now let's go on to the command stage. Command stage, this is like basically this stage we can use anywhere in a job path to invoke an external command. It's like something when we have an external command and we want to invoke a job or invoke a shell script or something, we can just go for external, we can just use command stage. Like I mean we can go for like Unix scripts when we have Unix scripts, Perl scripts and other command line executable programs. Yeah, if we can just call them here, we can directly sometimes some commands we can directly use, but sometimes some of the commands are not interactive. So yeah, even for those not in non-interactive commands, we can use this command stage and we can just call them here and then perform all the operations. So yeah, I mean, you might be thinking, so what is the use of before and after stage subroutines, right? It's pretty much same as before and after stage subroutines, but except that you can put command stage this stage anywhere in the job stream. If you remember, before and after subroutines are not available in every stage, right? So yeah, but this thing you can just pull this stage in onto the any I mean any in any job, and then call it multiple times in parallel job. So that's pretty much about command stage. You could see I'm not getting into details because these are not the stages which we use it often, so I don't want to get into details. So but let me explain it like superficially. So yeah, we could have like two basic types of commands. One is OS type, I mean DOS type. OS means DOS type, and the other is TCL. So TCL is like a built-in routine, like command routine that executes server engine commands from the data stage job. And the DOS command, it's basically it's also a built-in routine, and this executes DOS commands from data stage job. So yep, so this executes server engine commands and this executes dot commands both from the data stage job. So yep, that's it. And yeah, so you can just like check it. If you just read the sentence, you can understand what's happening. So if you don't want, if you want the command to be successful and then only the job to be done, so if you can just click on this. If the command fails, then the job doesn't the job gets aborted. No, I mean we shouldn't waste the resources, right? So yeah, that's the reason you can use this. And yeah, you use this disable output to log. We can just use this if you don't want to have like a log information, what happened and why it happened and all that information. So and the other thing is do not wait for command. It doesn't I mean it means that command, it doesn't matter which command you give. So probably yeah, I don't really understand what's a, I mean it doesn't make really make sense to me. But yeah, an output to file, you can just give the parameter or insert a job parameter, or you can just give the path. So that's it. And let's put an output link and see what it gonna look like. Okay, so you have output to link, so it doesn't matter. But let me put an input stage so that we can have a little knowledge on input tab too. So okay, so let me do, okay, so let me go to the input stage. Okay, so we do have these options. So repeat for each row. If this is selected, then it makes sure that this specific command executes for each row that arrives on this link. It makes sure that each row, before each row is the command is executed for each row. And then execute command for after row. If this is selected, it executes a specific command after the row is copied and then sent to the output link. Yeah, so I mean statements says it all. The line, or the thing, which whatever, it says it all, right? And yeah, do not forward row data. Yeah, I mean, if this is selected, yeah, I mean, I really don't know, to be honest. I really don't know. So you need not worry about it, because nowadays we are not using this stage. We are calling, like, we have shell scripting. And first of all, we don't use server stage of server jobs often. So yeah, you need not worry about it. I'm just giving a quick knowledge. So if someone says, you go did you, I mean, do you know command stage, you should be able to tell, yeah, at least I know theoretically, not practically, but yeah, theoretically though. So yep, next is FTP plugin stage. So this is FTP plugin stage is same as a sequential file stage, except that it I mean, why did I say it's same as sequential file stage? Because it extracts data or writes data to a file, but those text files are not on the, like, I mean, they need to be accessed through this stage, which, I mean, those files reside on another machine, and we need to communicate through a communication network instead of on a local disk. So that's how it works. We are basically remotely connecting from our machine to another machine, and we are pulling the data from, or writing data to the other machine. So yep, that's when we use FTP plugin stage. And yeah, we need to connect it through, yeah, you do have server name and all these things. Yeah, we need to give server name. You can just insert parameter and give the database data connection name, to which, I mean, to where we need to connect, and username, password, and yeah, everything. Like, you need to give everything, so that it then remotely connects to another machine, and then we can access the data from there. So yep, that's it. That's about FTP plugin stage. And then coming to the interprocess stage. Interprocess stage, let me pull this. Okay, so interprocess stage, if we can call this as IPC stage. People don't call it interprocess, they just say IPC stage. So yeah, make sure if they say IPC, that's interprocess stage. Okay, so this coming to this interprocess stage, this is a passive stage, and this stage basically provides communication. I mean, it acts as like communication channel between data stage processes, which are like running simultaneously in the same job. Basically, it provides like communication between the process. So we can use this interprocess, I mean, IPC stage, to join two passive stages together. Let's say if I have like one sequential file and the other sequential file, source and target. So to link these two stages, it's better to use interprocess stage, so that we can just speed up the transfer between the two data sources. If you just put two passive stages together, it's little mess. So yeah, if you put interprocess stage in between them, yeah, that gonna speed up your data transfer. And yeah, the most important thing with IPC stage, interprocess stage, is that as soon as a source stage is I mean, as soon as the link is pulled from the source stage, the IPC stage start passing data to the target stage. It doesn't wait for the other records. Let's say I have like I have like, okay, 10,000 records, and say only 5,000 record, I mean 5 records, first 5 records, obviously it's gonna take time, right? As soon as the first 5 records are read, then it gonna put it to the next stage. It gonna read 5 stages and then put it to the target stage. Then next 5 stages, I mean next 5 records, and then yeah, that way it doesn't wait for all the 1 million records to be loaded and then read. It doesn't do that. So that's the reason why you can have like faster data transfer. And you can also use this IPC stage to explicitly specify that connected active stages should run as separate process. Yep, so that's about interprocess IPC stage or interprocess stage. And link collector and link partitioner. Link partitioner, I mean, these stages, link collector and link partitioner, are for, I mean, I said for the first time parallelism concept was introduced, right? So before that time, before the parallelism concept was introduced, these two stages were much in hand to use. I mean, like link partitioner, basically it says, right, link partitioning. So basically it's partitioning and then collecting the partitioning data. So link partitioning, it's active stage. Okay, let me just put down this. So link partitioning is like active stage, and it takes like takes one input link and allows you to distribute it to like many distribute like rows up to 64 output links. You can just like let's say, okay, let's say you have like some thousand records, and you need to have like 50,000 records, right? So yeah, you need to have like three, let's say four. Okay, you need to have four which like 250 records each. So you can just you need to, I mean, the thing is, let me repeat it. It has 1,000 records, and the link partitioner you are using it, and you want 250 records to be passed in onto each output link. So how do we do that? So 250 records, we're gonna put four links, right? 1,000 for four. So once we have all these four links, then we're gonna then we're gonna use link collector and put all the stages, like all the sequential or and everything, and then collect the data from there. So that's how basically we are partitioning the data and then collecting it through link collector stage. So yep, that's it about link partitioning and collector stages. As I mean, link partitioner is an active stage, right? So link collector is also an active stage. So let me just delete this. Okay, and then coming to the merge and pivot stages, I'll deal with it in parallel because we have much more options in parallel stages. And row merger stage, row merger and row splitter. Okay, so it says, right, see see, if you see this graphical designs, I really get I really get nice feeling when I see this. See, rows are just merging and rows are splitting. How neatly they designed. Okay, let's anyway. So row merger, it's like reads one row at a time. This row, I mean this stage reads one row at a time, and merge all the columns from that row into a single string of a specified format, and then write the string to a given column of the output link. So basically, like the other function we can use is like aggregation of multiple rows of data. We are like aggregating the multiple rows, right, of data. So yeah, this stage also has concatenation facilities. You need not know more about this. That's pretty good enough. And coming to the row splitter, it's pretty much opposite of this row merger. Here we are just merging all the columns from a row into a single string. And here we'll read one row at a time, but split the data fields containing the string into different number of columns. Here we are merging all the columns from a row into a single string, and here we are just splitting the data fields into multiple number of columns. So yeah, that's it about row merger and row splitter. And the sort stage, a transformer stage, I'll deal with it in, I mean, we need to spend more time on transformer stage because it is one of the most important stages in this data stage. So we'll spend much more time on that, but yeah, we do have a sort stage in parallel too, but it's a little different. So yeah, let me show just what sort stage is like. Sort stage is like, what do I say, we just sort the state says it all, right? Sorry guys. So yeah, I mean, we just need to sort the data. So let's just make a simple example. I do have all the data files from the previous job I did. which is like EMP data, so it should be good for us. So okay, let me first dig onto the sort stage and properties, and then we'll make a design. Okay, so yep, sort stage, and you can just name your and sort type and all that. And see here, before you have like before stage routine and after stage subroutine. So you can just, if you want to do something before it's before the data needs to be sorted, then you can just go for this and have like over here and all that. So coming to the properties, here we have like sort specifications, right? So sort specifications are like the criteria on which the rows which are read from the input are to be sorted. I mean to say, if you have like salary and you need to have like salary ascending in the ascending order, yeah, so you can just have like salary, whatever your if it says or salary or capital letter or small letter, yeah, anything. So you can just define your field name, and you can have ascending. You can have just small a or ascending or descending, yeah, anything, anything. So that's the sort specification. And the other is, okay, I'll get into I'll tell it in this detail. But the temporary directory is like the path name where the temporary files that are created during the sort stage are created. So if you don't want to, if you do not want to, or if you don't specify any path name, then the current working directory on which the computer this engine is host, so it gonna use that directory. And the escape character, it's like single character, probably in collate sequence mapping or something. So yeah, tracing, yeah, so basically tracing, it's like controls the type of tracing information that should be added to the log. So there are different tracing levels like 0, 1, 2 and 4. 0 is for no tracing. If you don't want tracing, yeah, you can just hit on 0, you can just enter 0. And 1 is for stage properties, and 2 is for performance, and 4 is for important events. So you can just combine the tracing levels. It's like Unix permissions, like file reading, writing, and yeah, executing permissions. So that's the way it's gonna work. Like if you just wanna have like tracing level 3, that means that the stage properties and the performance messages are added to the log. So yeah, that's how it works. And you can have like stable sort function. Stable sort, it indicates whether the sorting which you want is to be stable, or stable sort basically like preserves the order of the input data, input rows that compare that compares to the other. So, and the other is column separator. It's again single character separating two columns, probably in collating sequence map. Yeah, I don't really remember, but you need not worry about that. I'm telling the most important things, or the ones which you need to really worry about. So yeah, so now let's max open files and max rows in virtual memory. I'll now explain it clearly. So max rows in virtual, okay, let me just drag it. Okay, so max rows in virtual memory, by default it's always 10,000. So this is basically, what is this mean is, these are the maximum number of rows that can be sorted in the virtual memory. So yeah, so that's it. Maximum number of rows that can be sorted in the virtual memory. So what do I mean to say is, if we have like let's say we have like 5,000, let's say we have like 5,000 records. Okay, so if we have like 5,000 records, then okay, let me just get a scenario. So okay, so when you have 5,000 records, what does this and if okay, so sorry guys, I'm just thinking of a best scenario to explain it in the easiest way. So okay, so let's say we have okay, so let's say we have 500 records. Okay, in the input data, not here, in the input data, let's say we have 500 rows. Okay, and they need to be sorted, right? So yeah, so what basically this sort stage does is, these records, the ones which come from the input link, are stored to a temporary file. Basically the algorithm makes it to store to a temporary file. So you can just have a like temporary file, right? So you can just have, if you have like 5,000 records and you want to make 1,000 records in each file, you can just have like 1,000 records, and this is the maximum number of rows that can be stored in one temporary file, which is like virtual memory. So yeah, so that's how it works. So basically, so for 5,000 rows you need to have at least so you give max rows in virtual memory is 1,000, right? So you need to have 5 values. So what it does is, this stage basically creates 5 different temporary files, and then after that it just store it just like basically, or after that all the temporary files are merged and then sorted together, and then resulting in the final sort that is written to the output link. So yeah, that's I mean, when you have like huge volumes of data, yeah, it's not good, it's not a good idea to directly sort. Yeah, you can just have like I mean, you can just define your own values. And this max open files is like the count. I said here, because we have like 5,000 records and my max rows in virtual memory is 1,000, so it gonna create 5 files, right? So I can have like 10 files. I can have 10 because the files which are creating it should relate to this max rows in virtual memory. So yeah, 5. So I can just say 5, or to be on safe side you can say 10, but you should not exceed more than 20. 20 is the highest number of files it can create. So yep, that's it. And if you messed up something, and if you don't know what did we change, and we just want to restore everything to the default, we can just set all default and see everything is same, 10,000, and everything is same. Sorry. So yep, that's how it works. And yep, we don't have anything else yep now, so let's do a simple job. And guys, again, I'm not creating parameters, so yeah, it takes little time, and I don't want to make this video like much longer because we didn't really discuss uh, much important things in this. So yeah, let me just browse a file. But yeah, you guys should practice it more with parameters. So yep, format emp, I guess I mean, I think you guys should have remembered what's emp. It's basic info. I'll show it anyway. So first line in column names, yep, everything is good. And then columns, dump your metadata in here. So emp, I already have table definitions from the previous job, so you can reuse that. So let's see how that data looks like. So see, this is my emp data. So we don't have ordered salary, right? So now I want salary field or department field, I mean, doesn't matter, you can choose anything. So let's take salary field to be in the descending order, I mean ascending order or descending order. So let's make it that way. Okay, so now let's go to the sort stage. Okay, and let's go to the sort stage. And no worries, properties, yep, so salary, right? And okay, let me just check which way I don't remember the column name, I'm sorry. Okay, sal. So yep, so just I have capital sal. If you just put small sal, it doesn't read. So I want in descending order. Okay, and don't change anything, it doesn't matter, because we have only just 3 or 4 or 5 records, I guess. Yeah, 5 records. And input column, because it's already defined, everything came in here on the through the output link from the sequential file stage. And columns you need to load it here, because you need to choose which columns you need to be passed to the next stage. So that's the reason it's from input link it's not going to the output link, because you need to choose what columns you need to pass on to the next stage. So that's your option. So again, emp is text. Okay, and now it's gonna ask me what columns I need to choose. Let's say, let's say department. Okay, I don't want e number. Okay, let's take it. Okay, just making just check. I just want to show you guys. So yeah, you can just group it and write a derivation and key and all that functions, but I'm not going to do it now. Just make it simple. and yep, outputs, just click on output folder. Okay, I mean it just overrides, so it doesn't matter. Let's click on any of the files and then format. Yes, first line in column name, sir, and columns. Yep, that's it. So let's now compile it and run and see what's happening. So let's save this job. So go to jobs and then say sort server. Okay, save, and then I think it's good. Compilation, okay, no errors, good, and then run it. Oh, so what's the problem? Again, this director, I should have opened this previously. I always forget to open the director and it takes long time for that to open. So okay, let me check. Okay, so let me just okay, it's here. Okay, no problem. So yep, so what does it say? Oh yeah, number of input and output columns different. Yeah, I forgot that. So yeah, the one thing which sort stage need to make sure is that the input columns, like the number of input columns, need to match the number of output columns. So yeah, I just forgot about that, I'm sorry. So just remove this. You can just drag it and remove this, and now load all your table definitions. You can just either remove here, you can just load all your columns here, or you can just okay, you can just have like all the three columns. Okay, let me just show you. You can have all the three columns in the output similar as input, but if you don't want e number, you can just you can just do it. I mean, you can just choose here while in the sequential stage when you're choosing when you're loading the table definition, you can just take away e number. So that's one thing you can do if you don't want that column, but make sure like input and output columns are in the same number. So yep, now it should run. Let me see. That means it's still running. Yep. So let me see the data and see if my salary has been sorted. Yep, see, ascending, right? So my salary has been sorted. So now let's for further confirmation, let me make it descending. You saw that, right? 2000, 3000, 4000, and 7000. So now let's make it descending. So salary salary and descending, I mean ascending, or either ascending or descending, you can just put A for ascending or ASC, or I mean anything, I mean it doesn't matter, you can just go for capital letters or small letters. So let's just go for descending, so I'm just putting D, or you can just use DSC or DSC this way, it doesn't matter. So let me just go with this now. Okay, so okay, you can just like compile it first and then run it. That was quick. Okay, so yep, see here, salary 76543, so it's in the descending order. You can just choose anything, it doesn't matter. You can, if you go for department, this 40 gonna come up first if it's descending, 40, 30, 20, 20, and 10. So yeah, that's the thing how it gonna work. So yep, that's it guys, that's it, we finished the server jobs. So next time, I mean next in the next video no sorry, next time, so in the next video I'll just give introduction to the parallel jobs and introduce the concept of partitioning and types of partitioning and the types of partitioning techniques like hash, round robin, and all that. So yep, this video the server jobs are done. If you have any questions or anything, if I didn't explain it clearly, please do leave a comment. I'll try to work on that, and I'll try to make a separate video for those things which I haven't dealt with or I haven't dealt with clearly. Okay, thank you guys. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching my video.